listen, today is all about one thing. It is all about noun clauses, okay? Today we're going to talk about different ways to use noun clauses. We're going to analyze and practice using them in the book, and we're going to talk about different ways you can use noun clauses. One way that's kind of cool is you can turn a question into a statement using a noun clause, okay? So we'll talk about how to do that. We'll also talk about how to use that plus a noun clause with a mental activity verb right before it. So that's another thing we're going to talk about. And then we're also going to look at some more vocabulary for reading. All right, so before we do anything, let's take attendance. If you're here, just say here. All right. Abdurrahman al-Ghanam. Abdullah al-Nalfi. Abdullah al-Sahafi. Nasir.
Yes.
Mustafa. Abdurrahman al-Nazi. Ahmad. Yasmin. Abid. Shadha.
Here.
Ahmed al-Matrafi.
Yes.
Mohammed Zamzami.
Yes.
Noun. And Yasser.
Yes.
All right, cool. Very good. All right. If everybody would, let me just remind you as well, today we have speaking evaluations and the sign-up sheet. If you put your name on the sign-up sheet, it's either at lunchtime today, bonus lab tonight, lunchtime tomorrow, or bonus lab tomorrow. You know what day you signed up for. If you want to move, you can, as long as it's not full at that time. Okay? Make sure you keep your appointment. If you don't do it today or tomorrow, you will get a 0, and we don't want anybody to get a 0. Okay? Again, it's a one-on-one conversation with me. If you're coming at lunch, it'll be in here. If you're going to do it in bonus lab, it's down in LTC. Everybody okay?
Today or tomorrow?
Today or tomorrow. Okay? Whenever you signed up. All right. Everybody turn to page... Turn to page 46. That's where we left off yesterday. And the big conversation is noun clauses. I'm on page 46 in the book.
What page?
46. Now, listen, I didn't mean to confuse you. I also gave you guys a sheet of paper with adverb clauses of time that I think is really helpful. And it's worth looking at now so that you can begin to think about the sequence of tenses with adverb clauses. Well, good morning. How are you? Well, all right. But in here we're talking about noun clauses. Hey, in review of yesterday, what kind of a verb can come right before a noun clause? It's common. Do you remember what we called those?
Object.
What kind of verb?
Mental.
Ah, well, who said that? Who said that? What did you say? Yeah, mental activity. All right, so a verb of mental activity often will begin a sentence and then, or not begin a sentence, but be right before a noun clause. So can somebody give me a verb of mental activity? Think. Yeah. So can you give me a sentence using think and then maybe a noun clause? Using, and of course it works nicely with that. Yeah.
I think that learning English is important.
There you go. So where's the main clause?
I think that.
Yeah. I think. Okay. Where's your subject? Verb?
Think
Good. And then where's the noun clause?
that learning
Good. And then where's your signal word? Good. I think that learning English is important. Where's the subject inside the clause? Good. She actually uses, by the way, what is an ing verb used as a subject?
Noun.
It's a noun, also called a Is this, what is this? Is it, oh, let's think about this a minute though. Learning English. What is this actually?
Subject.
The whole, yeah, this whole activity.
Progressive.
It is, well, it is. It's a progressive form of the verb, but it's describing the type of English, right? Learning English. It's like, it's kind of this weird deal. It's like a present participle describing English. So anyway, the whole thing together
So
is our...
always ing.
Not always. But when you're using it as a description of a noun, right, then it's a participle. It's a present participle. I might have confused you when I said it's being used as a subject. And I know some of you were thinking, what's used as a noun, verb ing?
Well,
What kind of a verb is a noun in a sentence and it has an ing on it?
Any verb at the ing.
Yeah, what is it called?
progressive.
No.
Nope. That's a verb ing, right? That's acting like a participle. What? Do you guys remember the Three Ugly Sisters?
What?
The Three Ugly Sisters! Come on, they're verbals, participles, infinitives, and gerunds.
Yeah.
Right? They're verbs that have special endings or a special beginning, and they act like something other than a verb. So participles act like what? Adjectives. Gerunds act like nouns. And infinitives act like nouns, adjectives, or adverbs. Are you okay? Woo, yeah. Okay, so anyway, today we're talking about a noun clause. And here's my verb, and here's my object, right? Really, it's a predicate adjective on the end. Here's the point. A clause has to have its own subject and verb, okay? A noun clause has a starter word, not always that, but in this situation of that, and it usually will follow like a mental activity type of a verb. Does that make sense? You with me?
Yeah.
What other verb could I use here? I think,
I don't know that he is a student or a teacher.
okay, I could say that. I don't know that he is a teacher. Good. Same situation. And in the book, they actually give you a whole list of other verbs that you can use that work really well. Will you read the list for me? Just go down the list.
Agree, think, believe, feel, surprise, both, debate,
Suppose. Yep.
guess.
Doubt
Yeah. And guess.
and guess. Give me one sentence using... Actually, let's do this. Turn to him and give him a sentence using guess in this format.
I guess this
I guess...
that session is hot.
Ooh, I guess that session is hard. Use this word. Turn to him.
I think that person is not good.
Ooh! Oh!
I feel bad. I feel bad. We will help you.
Oh, no! I feel that we will fail this level. Okay. Speak for yourself. I hope not. All right. Talk to him. Go down here, Isaac.
What does this mean?
Suppose it means I think.
Yeah, I think that going to space is amazing.
I what?
I think
I
that
suppose.
I suppose that going to space is amazing.
Ooh, nice. It's okay. You can talk to me. Go to doubt. Do you know what doubt means?
No.
Doubt means you're not sure. I doubt. You're not sure. You're like, I don't know. It's like, I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah, I doubt.
I doubt.
That.
I doubt that. I doubt that.
That
that table.
I doubt that.
That table is good.
I doubt that what?
Table.
Table.
It's good.
That table is good?
It's good.
You can say that. Give me a guess.
I guess,
Mm-hmm.
I guess that session is nice.
Good. Good. I
When you
guess
say
that
that,
session is nice.
what session? This session or that session? The past session?
I don't know. She didn't say.
No, I'll always with that. Which that? What I mean with that?
Yeah, it really is nebulous about time. It doesn't say anything about time. Unless you tell me. I doubt that the past session,
Past.
yeah, you can say, you could add a time phrase. I doubt that last session was a good one. Okay? Good question. You can add time if you want. All right, so in the book they give us 3 different examples. We read those yesterday. And so that's all they're saying. Listen, this whole thing right here, okay, this whole noun clause, it's acting like the object of this whole sentence. Does that make sense? So although it has its own subject, verb, predicate, adjective, or object on the end there, it also functions as an object, and that's why it's a noun clause. Are you with me? You okay? Man, you guys need to go to Starbucks. I wish I had like a cup of Starbucks forever. You guys are like... All right. Listen, rule number 2. Mohammed, read rule number 2. When a noun
clause function as a direct object that may be omitted.
Do you guys know what omitted means?
What is it?
It's the second rule. Yep. Do you know what omitted means?
No.
Omitted means you can kick it out of the sentence. So, whenever this is the case, when the noun clause is the object, I can get rid of the that.
Yeah.
You with me? So I can actually read this. I think learning English is important.
Yes,
Okay.
better.
It is better. As a matter of fact, my wife tells me it's better because she said she was a creative writing major in college, and she said anytime you can get rid of something in your sentence and it still works, it's better for clarity. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It gives clarity. Okay. So yes, get rid of it. But either one's right. All right. Why don't you go ahead and read the third little black part here. In short,
In short answers, use so to replace a noun clause after the verb think, believe, yes, and hope.
okay, good.
Does Stephen King have a new book out? I think so. I believe so. I guess so. I hope so.
Yeah. So listen, anytime somebody asks you a question and you answer with one of these types of mental activities, so I could ask any question. Do you think the movie we saw last night was good? I don't think so. So when you're answering a question, let's just illustrate. Can somebody turn this into a question for me? Yeah.
Do you think
That
Okay. Do
you think
you think,
learning English is important?
well, let's get rid of this. We don't need it. Do you think learning English
It's important.
is important?
I believe so.
Yeah. And then I might respond,
Question mark.
I believe so. Oh. +1. It is a question. Yes.
I believe so.
You can say, I believe so. I believe so. All right? Does that make sense? So that's what they're saying. You can often get rid of, in the short answer to a question using this type of a verb, yeah, you can get rid of the noun clause in its entirety in the answer. Ask him a question.
Without.
Using one of these verbs here, kind of like I did with this one.
Are you agree with this?
Do you?
Do you agree? English English is important?
Yeah, ask a different question.
Okay.
Make one up.
Do you believe
Okay, let's do this so that we're not all just kind of sitting listening to him. I want you to turn to the person next to you and think of a question to ask them, okay, using this. So turn a thinking activity verb into a question, right, with the noun clause. The other person answer it in the short version. And then we'll go around and have...
always the question will be, do you...
Yeah. Do you think, it's a yes-no question, right? Do you agree, do you suppose, do you doubt, and then you make something up. Both of you create one question and answer it, okay, in this format.
Yes.
But listen, you have to use...
I use it this time.
Yeah.
I think so.
Listen, this only works. Think, believe, yes, and hope.
This is just for this?
Yeah, hey guys, listen, this only works with these words. Think, I should have said that. Think,
Believe,
yep, believe,
Guess,
feel,
guess,
Hope.
and hope.
I think it is the most popular is I think so and I hope so.
Yeah, yeah. How many, everybody have a question, answer?
Yeah.
Ask him a question and then answer.
He asked me.
Yes, ask him. Ask him.
Ask me the question you asked.
Do you think the class is important?
Yes, I think so.
Yes, I think so. Good. All right. Ask him a question.
Okay. Do you think the teacher is good?
Yes, I think so.
Ask him a question. Good student. Good student. Ask him a question.
Do you believe do you feel happy?
yes, I think so.
Wait a minute. Do you listen, you got to use one of these, okay? Yeah, in order for the short one to, do you think, and then you got to use it, you got to turn it into a question and use a noun clause. So, do you,
I hope so.
Hope
Okay, do you
your
believe?
teacher pass you in the living?
Yes, I think so. I
agree.
yes, I believe so. Ask him a question.
Do you think
Do you agree? What is it?
I am a good student?
I think so.
I think
Do
so.
you believe?
Ask her a question. Say it nice and loud.
Yeah, I hope so.
do you
Thank you.
think yesterday's homework is
Good. Now ask her a question. Do you, and then you can pick any of these.
studying English is good?
I think so.
Good. Ask him a question.
Do you think that riddle is nice?
I didn't believe you. I didn't believe so.
Good. I don't believe so. Ask him a question.
Do you think their English is easy?
Yes, I think so.
Good. Ask him a question.
Do you believe that Real Madrid is the best team in the world? Yeah, I believe so.
Ask him a question.
Okay.
So,
Do you believe the ghost?
Do you believe, we need a clause. Do you believe,
We have discussed this.
Ooh.
Do you think ghost is real?
are real?
Are real?
Yes, I think so.
Mm.
Do you have
Do you,
past perfect.
I don't believe so.
Ask him a question.
Do you guess the teacher going the shopping?
I guess so.
Maybe. Ask him a question.
Do you like me?
Wait! That's a wonderful question. Do you need a hug? Do you need a hug? Do you need a hug? Huh? Hey, listen, you gotta ask one with me. Do you love me? Could you create a question like that?
Not
Maybe,
Hanan.
do you believe that she loves me? Maybe? Yeah. All right. All right.
Do you hope that you like me?
I think so.
Do you hope? I think so. Okay. All right. Ask now.
Do you think children can acquire language faster than adults?
Good question.
Again,
Ask again. She didn't hear you well.
do you think children can acquire language faster than adults?
Yes, I think so.
Good. Okay. Everybody okay?
Yeah.
All right. Now, one more thing that is very interesting. Will you read the last little piece of grammar here? Other clauses with that.
Other clauses with not after slow, present, basic adjective.
Yeah.
That can be omitted.
Okay, good. So again, to be clear, other clauses with that, so we're talking about noun clauses with that, often follow certain predicate adjectives. You remember that adjective that was acting like an object over here? We call that, see, predicate means anything that follows the verb. Okay? So if whatever follows the verb acts like an adjective, we call it a predicate adjective. Alright? So does that make sense? Are you guys with me?
Yeah.
Alright, so what do we call anything that follows the verb on a sentence? We call it a...
Adjective.
Nope.
Everything what?
What do we call everything after the verb? in a sentence?
Objective.
But there's other things. There's adverbs, adverb phrases, objects. I just said, listen carefully, anything that follows a verb
Mental.
is called the predicate. Okay? If it happens to be an adjective, we call it a predicate adjective. If it happens to be a noun, we call it a predicate nominative. Those are fancy terms, right? Who cares? Except if you're talking about it, then you care. So, this rule is saying there are certain sentences, right, that have a predicate adjective which is followed by a noun clause. Alright, so let's look at the example. It says, can you read the first example?
We are both disappointed that this new book isn't very good.
Good. So we're both
Disappointed.
disappointed, and then it puts that his new book
Isn't very good.
good isn't very good. All right, cool. So where's the subject in the main? What's the main clause? I guess. Let me ask. What's the main clause?
We're both.
We're both disappointed. All right. Where's the subject?
Where?
Good. Verb, right?
Yeah.
We are both disappointed.
What's
Now this is interesting. Let me ask you guys. We said this is a predicate adjective, right? Really, when I have a be verb and a verb ending in ed, is that an active or a passive sentence? It-
Passive. Because verb be is
Yeah,
help.
good. Thank you, sir. So when you have a be verb plus a past participle, it's a passive sentence. And I just told you, participles act like what? Do they act like noun, adjectives, or adverbs?
No.
Adjectives. That's why they're calling this a predicate adjective. Okay? So, you guys are going to see a list certain predicate adjectives. I give you a nice handy dandy little list. You see it? Somebody tell me, what are they? I got disappointed. You guys see it in the little chart, the adjectives? Disappointed. What else?
Happy.
I got happy.
Sad.
I got sad.
Sorry.
I got sorry.
Sure.
I got sure.
Surprise.
And I got surprise. So anytime these are acting like a predicate adjective, it's common, very, very common, to see a noun clause right after them. Are you okay? All right, so take a look at example number 2. Will you read example number 2 for me?
Were you surprised that that ending was sad?
Yeah. Were you surprised that the ending was sad? And what is that, a question or a statement?
Question.
Yeah. So it can happen in either a question or a statement with a predicate adjective, one of these. Somebody want to try to create one more sentence using one of these as a predicate adjective?
Do you have an ALS?
Are you happy?
At ALS.
Be careful, we need a noun clause. You can say that. But, let's see. Are you happy?
That you are a teacher and...
There you go. That you are a teacher at big E-E-L-S. Cool.
Teacher? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Answer.
Yes, I am. I'm very happy there. Mostly because I get to meet people like you guys, which is pretty cool. All right? So, again, you guys see the adjective, and then you see the noun clause that follows. And it is a question, right? It's a yes-no question.
Can I say, are you surprised that the man went alive?
Yes. Are you surprised that the man is still alive? That's a great
Can I
sentence.
say it without that?
Are you surprised the man is still alive? Are you happy you are a teacher at ELS? And I can say yes, yes I am. Okay, are you guys okay? Let's turn the page and start practicing some of these things, okay? I like A. Take a look at A. And can you turn the camera off for us? On A it says, on a separate sheet of paper,